Sometimes life hits you so hard that you ask, why me? But what if the pain is only building the strength you will need for what's coming? She had no idea her world would break in one moment. Before tragedy ever touched her life, Casarachi was a girl wrapped in love. Her parents, Mama Emeka and Papa Ebuka, treated her like the only star in their sky. Every morning, her father lifted her high into the air saying, "My daughter, the world will know your name." And every night, her mother told her stories of brave queens, wise maidens, and girls who survived the storms of life. Casarachi grew up believing that nothing could ever shatter the love of her home. But on one strange Sunday morning, the air felt heavy, too quiet, too still. Even the birds did not sing. Mama Emeka stood at the doorway, frowning at the sky. "Ebuka, do you feel that?" she asked. Her husband paused, his keys in his hand. Hmm, the wind is restless today. Despite the uneasy feeling, they all entered the car. It was supposed to be a joyful day, the church anniversary celebration, where Casarachi would dance with the children. She wore her white dress, the one decorated with tiny silver beads. She looked like a small angel. They had barely driven halfway when it happened. A sudden screech, a flash of blinding light, a roar like thunder tearing through metal. Then, silence. Deep, frightening silence. When Casarachi opened her eyes, the world had changed forever. Her parents were gone. The once bright sky felt dim. The songs her mother used to sing vanished from her ears. The world that had always held her gently was suddenly cold and empty. Later that evening, neighbors and relatives gathered like shadows around her. Whispers floated in the air. Only the girl survived. Everything happened so fast. What will become of her now? Then her mother's sister, Aunt Yamaka, stepped forward. She took Casarachi's trembling hand and said, "Don't worry, my child. Come with me. I will take good care of you. Do not worry." Her voice sounded warm, almost too warm. And just like that, Casarachi followed her into a new life. One she never imagined. One she did not know would test every part of her spirit. Because, unknown to her, the wind that changed that Sunday morning was only the beginning. At first, Casarachi believed she had found safety again. Aunt Yamaka's home was warm and full of noise. Children running everywhere. The smell of palm oil stew drifting from the kitchen. And her uncle laughing loudly at the television. For a whole week, they treated her kindly. Her aunt would pat her back and say, "You are safe here, my daughter. Don't think too much about it. You are safe here." For 7 days, Casarachi breathed again. But on the 8th day, everything changed. It happened early in the morning. Casarachi had just returned from sweeping the compound, expecting breakfast like the other children. She greeted her aunt politely, but instead of responding, Aunt Yamaka pointed to a pile of dirty plates. "Wash them." Casarachi blinked. "Auntie, I am going to school." Her auntie's eyes hardened. Cold, sharp, unfamiliar. School? Look at this girl. Is it not food you need first? Wash those plates immediately. From that day, the smiling woman disappeared. Kasara's school books were locked in a drawer and never returned. Her chores multiplied like shadows, mopping floors, cleaning windows, scrubbing bedrooms, fetching water, cooking, washing clothes for everyone, even for her uncle, who barely noticed her existence. When she finished one task, her aunt will call her again. Casarachi, sweep the backyard. Casarachi, my husband's shirts are not dry. Casarachi, wash your cousin's uniforms. Casarachi, the children who once laughed at her now ordered her around like a servant. Worse, she was fed only once a day and the food was barely enough. Every night, her stomach groaned louder than the crickets outside. But her aunt never stopped there. One afternoon, she handed Casarachi a basin filled with sachets of pure water. Go to the road and sell all this. Don't come back until you finish. Did you hear me? Casarachi looked up shocked. Auntie, the road is dangerous. She received a hot slap across her cheek. Lazy girl, are you not eating my food? Go immediately before I open my eyes. And so she went. Day after day, under the burning sun, she walked through crowded streets, shouting, Pure water! Pure water! Buy your cold pure water! Pure water! Buy your cold pure water! Some men looked at her. Some tried to touch her. She ran each time, terrified, but when she told her aunt, another slap, another insult, another night of tears followed. You want to bring shame to this house, right? Her aunt shouted. Who will look at a dirty girl like you? You think too highly of yourself. Casarachi cried, clutching the tiny mattress where she slept on the floor. For years, she endured it. Years of hunger, years of insults, years of being treated like she didn't matter. But none of them knew the truth. Every night, Casarachi whispered to herself, one day, I will escape this house and I will never come back. And when she finally turned 21, the fire inside her became too strong to contain. She tied her few clothes in a small nylon bag, waited until the whole house slept, and slipped out into the midnight darkness. She didn't look back, not even once, but the world outside was colder, colder than she expected, and the night was hiding dangers she wasn't prepared for. The night Casarachi ran away, the moon was thin and tired, just like her. She walked with trembling steps, clutching her small nylon bag, unsure of where to go or who to trust. At first, she slept under shop verandas, curled up like a frightened child trying to hide from the world. But the streets had no pity, no softness, no protection. They were filled with whispers, footsteps, and dangers that moved in the dark. Some nights, she heard drunk men arguing nearby. Other nights, the sound of police sirens made her heart race. But the worst nights were when strange men approached her. One evening, as she tried to sleep beside a locked pharmacy, a man staggered towards her. His breath smelled of alcohol. Fine girl, what are you doing here alone? He asked, leaning too close. Casarachi stood up immediately, fear shooting through her veins. Please, leave me. He grabbed her arm. Don't be stubborn. She struggled, kicked him, and ran with every bit of strength she had left. Tears blurred her vision as she hid behind a dumpster, shaking prayers. The streets took pieces of her innocence, pieces of her joy, and almost pieces of her hope. But somehow, somewhere, she kept surviving. By day, she searched for work. Most shops chased her away. We don't hire people who sleep outside. Where is your family? Go home, young woman. Each rejection felt like a slap. Still, she pressed on. Then, one afternoon, while walking through a dusty market road, she saw a small boutique with a signboard. Sales girl, wanted, hardworking, and respectful. Her heart jumped. She walked inside nervously. The store was quiet, filled with mannequins wearing colorful dresses. A young man stood behind the counter, arranging clothes. He looked up, surprised. He was tall, neat, and had a calm face. His name was Chibuzo, and he was only 26 years old. Casarachi bowed her head respectfully. Good afternoon, sir. Please, I saw your sign. I need work. I am ready to work very hard. Chibuzo studied her. Her worn-out slippers, her tired eyes, her hopeful voice. Most people would have dismissed her immediately. But instead, he asked gently, "What is your name?" Kasarachi whispered. Something in her voice, pain, strength, humility, moved him. He nodded slowly. "Come back tomorrow. Let's see how you walk." It was the closest thing to hope she had seen in years. By the following morning, she arrived early. By afternoon, she had swept the floor, arranged fabrics, memorized prices, attended to customers, and even reorganized the storeroom. Chibuzo watched silently, impressed. At closing time, he smiled. "You have a job here, as long as you want it." Kasarachi's eyes filled with tears. For the first time since her parents died, someone saw her worth. And little did she know, this job was not just her beginning, it was a path to a destiny brighter than any suffering she had ever endured. Casarachi walked with the strength of someone who had known suffering and refused to return to it. She greeted every customer with a warm smile, folded clothes neatly, cleaned the shop before sunrise, and treated the business as if it was her own. Customers loved her. The shop grew, sales increased, and Chibuzo, her 26-year-old boss, watched her with admiration. He admired her, her respectfulness, her quiet beauty, but most of all, her spirit. She never complained. She never asked for favors. She worked as if she was building her future with her bare hands. Weeks turned into months, and Chibuzo found himself thinking about her more than a boss should. One evening, when he was locking up the shop, he finally gathered courage. "Casarachi, I want to talk to you." She looked up at him, puzzled. "You are a good woman," he began. "Hardworking, humble, focused. I, I would like to take you out. Just one date." Kasarachi stepped back a little, shocked. Her past rushed through her mind. The fear, the insults, the men who had tried to harm her. The thought of dating anyone terrified her. So she shook her head. "No, no, sir. I, I cannot. I'm sorry." Chibuzo didn't pressure her. He simply smiled gently. "All right. If you ever change your mind, the offer is still open." Days passed. She watched how he treated people, kindly, with respect, with patience. He never raised his voice. He never insulted anyone. Slowly, the walls around her heart began to soften. One evening, just as he was about to leave, she whispered, "Sir, I will go out with you." His face lit up like morning sun. Their first date was simple. A quiet restaurant, soft music, and laughter she hadn't felt in years. For the first time since childhood, Kasarachi felt happy, and happiness grew between them like fruit in season. After several months of dating, Chibuzo knelt before her one beautiful evening and said, "Kasarachi, marry me. Let me give you the home and love you deserve." With tears streaming down her face, she said, "Yes, yes, I will marry you." Their wedding was small but beautiful. People who knew her story cried as she walked. No longer the frightened girl who slept in the streets, but a woman rising and rising into her destiny. Chibuzo kept his promise. He opened a large, beautiful hair salon for her, something she had always dreamed of, but never said aloud. Customers filled the place daily. Her life blossomed. Then, one afternoon, fate returned. The salon bell jingled. Casarachi looked up from her client's hair and her heart froze. Standing at the entrance, Aunt Yamaka, her aunt's eyes widened in shock. Casarachi looked completely different, glowing, confident, elegant, and surrounded by success. Aunt Yamaka dropped her bag and fell to her knees. Casarachi, my daughter, please forgive me. I was not myself. I did many wrong things. Please don't chase me away. The entire saloon became silent. Casarachi stood slowly, her voice steady but strong. The voice of someone who has survived storms and come out shining. Auntie, I have forgiven you long ago. Her aunt's eyes widened and brightened with hope until Casarachi added gently, but you cannot stay here. Please leave my shop and do not return. Not out of hatred, not out of anger, but because she had learned the most powerful lesson. Sometimes, to protect your peace, you must close the door to people who once broke you. Auntie Amaka left quietly. Casarachi watched her go, not with bitterness, but with strength. She turned back to her customers with a smile filled with everything she had overcome. From an orphan girl to a maid, to a street survivor, to a wife, to a business owner, Casarachi became the woman destiny always intended her to be. The story of Casarachi teaches us that no matter how badly life treats you, you must never give up on yourself. Even when she was abused, rejected, and abandoned, she held on to hope and worked really hard. In the end, her perseverance lifted her from the streets to success, while those who mistreated her faced the shame of their actions. Treat people with kindness, protect the vulnerable, and remember, destiny always honors a pure heart. Your past may wound you, but your determination can rewrite your future.
Please do not forget to like, subscribe, and leave your thoughts in the comment section.